So excited to be here, and today we are having our interview number 7 for the Teen Warrior Summit with our special guest, Jennifer Hernandez, and we'll be right back. All righty, Jennifer, how are you doing today?
I'm well. Thank you so much. I'm excited.
Oh, I'm so excited that we're doing this interview too. So, like I was saying before, Jennifer Hernandez is a coach and nutrition expert and mom. So, today we're going to talk about Jennifer's journey. So, Jennifer, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do and how you started your journey into nutrition and fitness?
Sure, absolutely. And I'm going to say I'm an expert in myself for sure. I want to just put a disclaimer out there that there are some situations that I may not be privy to. So definitely consult your physician. But what I am is I'm a 40-year-old busy working mom. I have a 9-year-old son and a husband. And what happened 4 years ago is I got up over 300 pounds for the third time in my life. So I spent over 20 years just yo-yo dieting. I would lose 40 pounds, gain 60, lose 30, gain 60. I just cycled back and forth. And when I look back, it really actually started secretly when I was in middle school and high school. I can remember being in middle school and being embarrassed in my clothing and just knowing I was the biggest amongst all my friends and not being able to feel comfortable. Sometimes I wouldn't even fit in between the desk and the chair, depending on the type of desk that was in the classroom. It was really uncomfortable. And so what I did is I didn't talk to anybody about it. I actually would tie sweatshirts around my waist at night, and I would just do things to try to get the fat that I could see and feel off my body. But I really didn't identify and understand until 20 years later. I mean, I did some of those same things in my 20s and 30s and had no results. But that I ended up realizing it's really what I eat that creates the outside. Like what you eat is what creates your future. When you're a youth, you are creating the fat cells you will have for life. When someone loses weight, I've lost over 100 pounds. I've kept it off for over 3 years. That weight does not mean the fat cell is gone. I still have all of those fat cells. They're just empty. So I just want to encourage you that what you are doing now, the choices you are making now, these are the lessons that you take forward. I think if I could go back in time to my high school self, I would say, I was so excited when I graduated because learning was over, but that's actually when learning begins. Everybody says, why do I need to learn this in high school? Why do I need this calculus? I'm not going to use it. My son already is planning to be a firefighter, and he says, I don't need to know these things. Why do I need to learn them? And I said, it's really actually about the learning how to learn, learning how to question, and learning what to do so that you can take that with you into your adult life. And that's what I hope is. I hope to use my journey of over 20 years going through so many medical issues because of being overweight, going through so many emotional issues because of being overweight, taking all those things and helping you understand how what seems like a simple food choice or what seems like something that's not a big deal really does add up and can add up for either the positive or the negative. So I didn't know, is there a specific part of my story you want me to share?
Well, we'll get into it, but a lot of the stuff that you said is very interesting because it is happening. It's true. We have two things. There's such a big diet fad, and everyone thinks that the way to lose weight is to go on a diet. And then the second thing that I want to touch up on that you said is about nutrition and children. And it's becoming very, very challenging nowadays because like we had talked about last week, even in the school system, they have replaced certain programs and stuff like that. But what have they put in? They put Burger King, they put McDonald's, they put Dunkin' Donuts. So it becomes very hard to teach a teenager how to live a healthy lifestyle when this is what he's accustomed to seeing. And I assume that this was the problem that you were having, right? You were going to diet after diet after diet, eating whatever and not understanding the concept of what it is to have a healthy lifestyle. So I guess explain to us what is different now from then, and what do you guys do as a family?
The biggest thing that we changed is I realized and I learned that those fast food places, those stores, restaurants, billboards, all of those things are selling you to make money. They're in it to make money. The grocery store is in it to make money. The local store is in it to make money. The restaurant, they're in it to make money, not to make you be at your best health. So first learning that the information that I'm getting could be wrong, and then going through some classes, like going back to school and learning how to divert the marketing. And so I always say, like, when something says really big on the front label, I'm healthy, I want to take a moment and let's look at the back and see what they're hiding, because they're probably hiding something on the back of the label. And you're going to make the healthiest choice if it doesn't have a label. So if you're in the outside of the shopping center and there's those whole fruits and whole veggies, they shouldn't have to have an ingredients label because they are what you see. That's really where you want to do your best. When I was a new mom, and I was actually a single mom, and I was taking care of my family, I did what I saw and I did what I thought was right. And I would pack his lunches with peanut butter and jelly and some gummies and a juice box so that he would get all the food groups, right? You know, and maybe I would put some apple slices in there, maybe. But I would make what I had seen as a lunchbox, or I would buy the lunch, I don't know if I can say brand names, but I would buy the prepackaged like lunch meals to save money, and he wanted the thing in it. And so I would send them to lunch with that. Now, I actually don't buy any of those things. On my shopping list, I used to have soda as something that I would automatically get every week. It was a necessity. Chips, cookies, soda, all those things were necessities, and I would just get them every week. I didn't even think about it. Now, you know, I don't buy those things, and they are not in the house. They are not in the house, and honestly, we do still have them if we go to a party. It's not that my son never has soda or cookies or chips. I don't want to pretend that we never eat those things, but they're just not here. They're not here to consume on a daily basis. And what I've learned is it really is under construction. It's about what are you doing most often and not what you're doing sometimes. So you want to like focus on what you're eating most often and just making those choices be healthy, but learning from a viable source. And that's what I do as a coach, is I help people make those choices. I connect them to the tools that I learned to how to eat healthier, how to deal with the emotional side of eating, because I don't know if you've seen this at all yet, if you're in high school or middle school, but food is so much more than food in our culture. We get food when we get a new job. We get food when we have a birthday. We get food when we celebrate. We get food when we're sad. Like, food is so attached to emotions and things that have nothing to do with what is it actually there for, that we end up confusing why and when we're eating. And so I kind of want to take it back to the video game and say, like, when you're in Minecraft and your health is going low, do you drive through somewhere and grab something? Do you have an energy drink? No, you got to go get an apple to redo your health, or you have to go and hunt down a chicken or a sheep. I think a pig sometimes, but you know, there's some things in there that it's like, that's really how it should be. When you're truly hungry or thirsty, it should be reaching for water or an apple or something like that, not what we see on marketing we should reach for.
Yeah, it's so true. What you said is very, very true, because we do use food as comfort. You know, when we don't feel good, when we've had a problem, it's called emotional eating. And we all have a tendency to do that because, you know, when you do that, it makes you feel better. You get that dose of dopamine in your system, you know, and it makes you feel good. But we have to think, okay, am I feeding my emotions, or am I feeding my body? Are we eating for pleasure, or are we eating for health? And it gets a little hard nowadays because of what you said. I mean, we look at the food pyramid and it's telling us a whole bunch of things that technically aren't the best things for us. And like you mentioned, pretty much everything that's in the center of the grocery store is like, well, we should stay away from. I read that there are certain things that you should like never have. Like you said, Coke, potato chips, frozen pizza. There's certain things because they have all those additives, those preservatives, all those sugars that we're not even aware about. I mean, they have like 20 different names for sugar, and we're reading it and we're thinking, oh no, look, no sugar. But then it's like 30-40% sugar. It's just that we don't know. We're not aware. So it becomes really, really difficult. I understand what you're saying. Now, how did you manage to change? And how did you manage to make that change and get your whole family on board? That's the most important part. Like,
well, the hard truth is I'm the mom, and I don't want to pretend that it was easy. because there were some moments that I'll share about, but I'm the mom, and what I am spending my money on, what I have money for, fact of the matter is, I actually spend less money eating healthy. I'm off 2 prescriptions. I'm not taking that medication. I used to go to the doctor and have copays of $40 to $75 every few months. I haven't been sick and needed to pay a copay in over 4 years because of eating healthy. There's so much money being saved by eating healthy that it is the smart, least expensive way to live. And once you learn how to do that, it's very easy to do so, going through the process and learning it. Now, when my son first didn't have gummies and soda and chips in the house, there were some tantrums. I'm not going to lie. There were some times that he would throw himself off the chair in the kitchen and he would be crying because he couldn't have, gummies or chips. And I would look out the window and I would cry because, one, I didn't have any to give him. And certainly I wanted him to stop crying. And then two, I got him addicted to what I stopped buying just because I was so addicted to it. The only reason I stopped buying it is because I could not have soda or chips or his gummies in the house without eating them myself. And that's the honest side truth of it is I would find myself when I started trying to eat healthier, I would be looking for sugar and I would eat his gummies. And so I ended up saying, well, I have to get this out of the house so that I don't eat it. And then I realized I'm an adult who's paying the bills and running my life and raising him, and I have to have it out of the house because I can't control myself. I got him that addicted. Like, it was a hard mom moment. That is some hard truth to hear. And then tell you now, fast forward 4 years, he runs 9 miles with us on a trail. He rides his bike 3 to 5 miles almost every single day. He's trying new tricks. He tried swim class and wrestling. He's very active. He exercises with us every single day, at least 6 days a week. We do give him a rest day sometimes. He just wants to work out with us. And he doesn't even remember. I asked him a few weeks back when we first started talking. I said, do you remember when you would throw yourself on the floor because I didn't have gummies? And he didn't even remember that. So fast forward, it's been a positive change for the whole family. But it took some time. It did take some time.
Yeah, that I do want to break down because I know that there are a lot of moms that, feel bad like imposing these things on their kids. And it's really hard when you see a kid that is rebelling, doesn't want to do it, and you feel guilty, so you want to give in. But I'm glad that they can hear your story and understand that, yeah, it's not going to be easy. But like you said, at the end of the day, you are the mom. You are doing what's best for them. And it's not going to be easy, but it definitely is worthwhile. So that's what I was going to ask you. And you pretty much explained. So the differences that you've seen in your son, what would be the differences that you've seen? You said he's been working out with you. What else have you seen since you guys have changed the diet?
More energy, in a good way, like more like positive energy. Just honestly, between my husband working with him and his changing in his eating, those same 4 years, his grades have improved. He is deaf in his left ear, and so he was kind of delayed a little bit behind having speech therapy and reading therapy and things. And those first 2 years, not only with working with my husband, but also in changing food, like his reading level jumped, his math level to where now we don't have those extra IEPs. I can't say it's one thing or the other, but I can say absolutely that I have more energy and positivity to bring to him after a work day, and that he has more of a better quality of life now, and he's made advanced improvements from all of these things working together. And if it wasn't for making some of those changes, we wouldn't have the resources and the energy and all of it. Like, it all works together. It all works together.
Yeah, and you mentioned good points because it does save money in the long run. We think that it's more expensive, but actually it does save money because I've done research and I've read estimates. And here in the United States, we have the largest obesity problem in the world. 28% of our teens are overweight from the ages of 12 to 21. And not only that, there has been, studies done that teens have the mood swings, poor concentration, bad sleeping patterns, and a lot of it has been well, it has been, I don't know what the word is.
Link-
It's been
yeah,
linked to. Thank you. It's been
definitely.
linked to the poor diet because when you give your kid the sugar in the morning, that cereal, they're gonna have a really really high streak of elevation of energy, but then there's always going to be that crash. So it tends to do this to teens, which gives them the big mood swings. So that is very interesting that you mentioned that. So, how long did it take you? What advice would you give to a mom who's thinking of doing this and their kid's gonna have a hard time? Like, what would you say right now?
Give yourself some grace and know that even today, before you start, I know everybody's doing the best they can. I know there is no mom that is out there feeding their kid trying to make them sick, like in that way. Please hear what I'm sharing about the choices and my thoughts towards my son, not as something that you're doing something wrong. I get it's hard. All the mixed signals, adults are dissecting it wrong. How do we expect, the kids? So give yourself some grace, number one. Number two, I highly recommend don't go it alone. If you think I'm someone that you'd like to talk to, reach out and work with me. But, if not me, get yourself a plan to work with somebody so that you're not trying to navigate on your own. You shouldn't have to be able to know and solve everything, and having a plan gets you there faster. And also with less experiments and hiccups. It'll make it easier on yourself. And then the third thing I would say is give yourself a year. Like, I will remember when I started, I was going to follow my nutrition courses for 30 days and fix 22 years of bad habits in 30 days. I am so glad I connected myself to a coach to hear me out and work with me and tell me to lean in with her, because I would have given up on 30 days. And I have no doubt today I would still be living my cycle that I spent 22 years living and not here sharing with you as having lived my healthiest. I'm 40 and I'm at my healthiest ever. So I want to encourage you to give yourself a year, give yourself some time. I'm not telling you to, throw out all your coffee, throw out everything and overnight, start with taking some red peppers and slicing them up into finger-sized slices, put them on the table with some clementine oranges, and tell your kids, I'm making dinner. You can eat whatever you want that's on the table. They're going to fill up with something that's like a sweet raw pepper. That's a really good veggie to transition with. You're going to get them having some fruit and veggies before they eat as kind of like a precursor. And then also having someone who's done this can help you. We save a lot of money by using dry beans and dry rice as a base for a lot of foods. I mean, we can do a whole week for less than $90, and that's splurging on some fun stuff my husband likes. So it could be even a lot less than that.
Yeah, but that's a good point. Because I've heard some moms, that talk about that teens, they have such a huge appetite. But you mentioned something very interesting, and I want to point out that when you have this food, that's another thing. Since you're talking about food that has very nutritional value, it doesn't have that many. It's empty calories, basically. When it comes to junk food and a lot of the prepackaged food, and yes, we're gonna mention stuff like Lunchables and stuff like that, because those are the things that they offer you, for fast, quick meals at the center of the grocery store. However, since it's empty calories, you eat, and you're gonna realize that in an hour or two, what happens? You're hungry again. It happens. So when you eat healthy meals, it does keep you fuller longer. And not only that, you're able to eat so much more, because if you notice, all of these products have such high calorie content. So then you have the high calories, you have the sugar, you have all the additives, all the preservatives, but you don't have the vitamins, you don't have the nutrition that is actually going to keep you full and give you that natural energy throughout the day without the spikes. Yeah.
I'm curious if any moms did what I have done in the past, and 100-calorie packs used to stuff my desk at work because they were an easy 100-calorie snack. Yay, win-win. Well, I would eat a 100-calorie pack, And then I would still be hungry. So I just eat a second one. What's another 100-calorie pack?
Exactly.
I would eat 400-calorie packs, and then I would be in the kitchen at work trying to find something that would actually be substantial to eat because it wasn't filling me. So exactly like you said, like this many potato chips goes down to like this in your stomach. The vegetables will actually fill you up and have you feeling full and satisfied. Plus, like you shared, giving you those nutrients and help cleaning out your gut, which if we're getting a whole bunch of sugar and junk in our gut, it's clogging our system from doing what it's meant to be, which is pull out nutrients. And that's where over 70% of our feel-good hormones are released and absorbed from our gut. So if we're eating unhealthy and we're clogged, it's like no wonder you have the roller coaster, not to mention just the regular hormonal times of growing up, you know?
Yeah, and they say that our gut is our second brain.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very important to keep it healthy. And I also looked at a study in the United States. 10-year-olds already have fatty deposits in their arteries and are having problems with high blood pressure and all of this. And it has to do with the diet. And like you said, when it comes to eating healthy, that's the beauty. You don't have to sit there and count calories. That's another thing. You don't have to sit there and count calories. I remember I used to always count calories. Now that I primarily eat, like you said, vegetables, and I keep it to healthy proteins like nuts and stuff like that. I try to stay as much as I can away from like dairy products. I can eat literally till I stuff myself. I mean, I literally fill my plate like this big. And I don't even have to count the calories because I know that I'm eating something good, and I eat till I'm full. I don't eat like a certain little meal and have to sit there and count my 2 or 3 meals a day. So you're 100% right. And your kid, does he even miss it? Like at this point, like you were saying, how does he feel?
I mean, he enjoys it when we're out somewhere every once in a while, but he will ask for fruit. He will ask if he can have his apple. He will ask if he can have grapes. We'll be coming home from a hike, and he'll finish my celery, and I'll be a little bummed because I didn't pack extra. Like I was like, oh, I didn't think you'd be hungry yet. We're going home tonight, and he'll ask to finish it. Whereas, go back in time, like, man, I wouldn't have just asked my mom for her salary.
Right?
So no, it's a 180. It's a 180.
And not only that, I do want to mention something else, that by doing this, you're doing your kids a favor, because look at you, and I know this from personal experience. The harder we are, our brain is practically formed at the age of 25. So that's when it's already matured, right? And by the time we're 35, we're so set on our ways that it becomes so difficult to change. Not that it's impossible, because neuroplasticity is something that we have literally till the day we die. We can change our brain. But after 35, it is so difficult. It's called self-induced neuroplasticity, because it's something that already doesn't happen naturally. We have to purposely do it. While in children, it becomes natural. If you teach them these good habits now, it'll be so much easier for them to keep them and follow them in their older years. So you're only doing them a favor. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to add in and let our public know before we talk about the summit.
I don't have anything else. I'm excited. I'll save it. I'm going to save some stuff. So you'll have to join us if you want to hear some more.
Exactly. So like I was talking right now, if you guys want to know how to incorporate these healthy habits, if you guys want more details and want an actual like small plan on what to do, then we want to invite you guys to our Teen Warrior Summit that we're having. Actually, I'm so excited. It's on the 23rd. We're like 11 days away from our summit. And we're going to have Jennifer speaking in detail about the how to be able to incorporate these good habits, not just for ourselves, but for our entire family. And not just that, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of other stuff that is super interesting and conversations that need to be had. They need to be discussed, and it needs to be talked about more frequently, because you know what? Our teens, they are our future. I mean, there are future doctors, there are future presidents, there are future lawyers, there are future everything that we have, teachers. workers, like you said, firefighters. These are our future. So we need to take care of our youth. And for those of you who have not heard about the Teen Warrior Summit, we're going to play a short little video. We thank you guys for hopping on and hanging out with us today. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for coming on with me. And we're going to leave you guys with a little bit more information about our summit. And I do want to say, for those of you guys that are listening now, we do have a promo going on right now. So when you go to the website, if you check on one of the packages, all you have to do is put TWS exclusive and you will have an extra 25% off this week, guys. So hurry up and visit our page or go to our site, and we will see you guys in a couple of days. We hope you guys have a fantastic Monday and a fantastic rest of your week.
The Teen Warrior Summit was created out of the desire to have the much needed discussions when it comes to teens. So many teens now are dealing with depression, anxiety, negative self-talk, suicidal thoughts, and even addiction. They've become addicted to technology, smartphones, porn, video games, social media, and even drugs. We aim to arm teens with the tools needed so they can be their own superheroes in life. The 5 elements of a superhero are confidence, courage, commitment, control, and purpose. That is what we are going to be teaching you inside of the Teen Warrior Summit.